right, my man.
Sir.
We are live. Well, live, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you pulling up here today. This is your first podcast?
Yes.
Ever? Okay. Awesome, man.
Sort of, kind of.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it, but okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to talk. I've been wanting to talk about what I've done and what's going on. Yeah.
I should probably turn the music down before the mics pick it up and they're like, you're going to have to pay for that.
Right.
Stop that.
State.
Yeah, man, it's just a conversation. And really, you know, what we're doing right now before we even went live, it's just we're just talking about stuff and what's going on. But I really want to dive into like who you are, where you're from. I know these things, but our audience doesn't know, you know, who you are and where you're from. And
okay.
Want to give your origin story, your superhero origin story.
I think I'm a superhero. And matter of fact, it's funny, as a child, I was so engrossed in comics. And I was so believing of what Nancy Reagan said, you know, when she had a public service announcement, that you can do anything you want in life. You could be anything. I thought I could be Superman, and I would jump off my roof because I believed I could fly.
Yeah.
It was a lie.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. I tried several times. And I could never fly. I'm still trying to figure it out, to tell you the truth. But anyway.
Have you ever had any dreams where you're flying?
All the time.
Don't those feel real?
I feel like I've made it. I did it. Then I wake up, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you feel the gravity in it. That's what I really like in those.
I feel the velocity of it.
Yeah.
And the control I've got. You know, because you never thought, how does Superman go faster? You know, does he like really emphasize it more? Or how do you turn that up when you're flying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then once you get on the ground, you like tell yourself gravity now.
Yeah.
Now you're walking. So how did you do it when you were in the sky? Because gravity has messed around with you and you're flying. So when you get back on the ground, how's it now you're just walking like a normal person? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
How does he not just float?
That's what I'm saying. Had you turn the float off?
Yeah.
Is it like a thought, or is it a gesture, or is it like a flex?
I think it is like the best way I understand it is like a mind to muscle memory type thing. It's like you got to kind of practice it. I think Zach, we're gonna go straight into nerd talk. I think Zack Snyder's the way he showed how Superman was learning to fly,
right,
by taking those big jumps,
yes,
and then finally kind of pushing himself. I think that's kind of what it's like. Kind of like
it's so funny you bring that up. I referenced that in the book I wrote.
Oh, nice.
Because me and my son's favorite movie is The Man of Steel. Yeah. And that was the best version of how he does it.
Yeah.
And him even screwing it up. Yeah. I'm so glad we finally got to see that. I'm like, come on, he couldn't just, how do you learn how to do this stuff? And you see him falling down, but it seemed like it was a mind thing, you know?
It was a mind thing.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, how's that work?
Told himself how to do it. Okay, so you're going to give us your origin story.
Origin story, right.
Where are you from and how did you get here?
Okay, so I'm originally from Phoenix. I was born here, born in St. Luke's, 1973. My father and mother moved from Chicago here. I guess a lot of folks from Chicago are here.
A lot of folks from Chicago.
I don't know what that's about. If there's some kind of government program to move black folks out here from Chicago to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then the two extremes I've never understood. You know, the extremely cold, extremely hot. Anyway, somewhat proud of my parents. My mother, she became a school administrator. My father was a police officer. He's actually one of the first black police officers ever in Phoenix. He's in a museum.
Oh, wow.
Because of it. And
so he served out here. He did his
Tempe PD. He was the first black police officer for Tempe PD.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's in there, the Tempe Museum.
Oh, wow. And this is in the 70s and 80s that
Correct.
He was doing this?
Wow. 70s, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Stories he could tell you about.
Yeah.
That whole experience and how he got through. I kind of see why he comes drinking. Anyway, I'm not sure how much detail you want. Went to elementary. My parents divorced. My mother remarried a tax man from Long Beach, California. He moved us to Compton. They got remarried, or she got remarried. They moved us to Compton. And then we eventually moved to Carson, California.
Okay.
And so I went to middle school and high school and some college out there. And then my mother divorced, moved back here. She said, hey, I'll pay for your schooling, your college, blah, blah, blah. Met my wife, had 3 beautiful children, and I wrote a book.
And you wrote a book. Okay. Man, that's incredible. I met you at the Black Male Excellence Was it Expo?
Expo. It just
Something
said
like
X.
X. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's short for Expo or something like that.
Right.
But it was a great event. I think my meeting you was one of the more positive things out of it, though, because so far we seem to be aligned here and what our interests are and what we want to accomplish. And you expressed to me that, hey, I'm looking to get some more attention on this book I wrote. I'm an author. Right. And I was like, I would love to work with an author. And so I was like, boom, let's talk. Let's chop it up.
Yeah.
And then we're kind of here today.
Here we are.
We just did a photo shoot literally like 2 minutes ago. So maybe I'll post a picture. Boom, right there. It's post edited. So they just saw your picture pop up right there. Can you tell us about your book?
So, yeah, I had 3 kids, 2 girls and a little dude, a little boy. And strange thing about that little boy of mine, when he was pretty young, and I write about this in the book, I noticed something strange about him. He had a musculature about him. I had never seen, me being a chubby kid and no muscles at all. He seemed to come out of the womb in shape. I mean, the little dude had abs and he was yoked up. I'm like, what is going on with this kid? Didn't think anything of it. I'm like, all right, he's been blessed. I don't know. Okay, so fast forward 2 or 3 years, and I don't want to give too much of the book away. I want people to buy the book. But he was watching Spider-Man, the movie with Tobey Maguire, and he started mimicking what he was doing as he was like evading the hobgoblin or the Green Goblin and all that. And he was doing cartwheels. And he did a front flip. I'm like, how the hell did you just do that? He's like 4. He's like 3 or 4 years old. And I'm like, I was astonished. I'm like, there's my Olympic gymnast right there. Guy's little butt into gymnastics along with his sisters. And he was in like an expo for his age group because he was too young to be in because they had like a competition going on. And this is like a big time gymnastic place. And it's well known in the Valley. I'm not sure how much we want to keep going. But anyway.
No, please.
He ended up winning the competition.
Oh, wow.
Even at the higher level.
As like a 4-year-old?
Yes.
Wow.
He was just there to be like in the little Mighty Mites group with his little group. They were just they're supposed to be cute and all and just kind of jumping around. But leading up to that, they had practices like the bigger kids did.
Yeah.
And so all the events the bigger kids did, the little guys were doing. Well, he was like breaking records with the handstand, with the pommel horse, with the rings, and then they had a rope climb, and they had a certain spot to where certain age groups were supposed to stop if they could do it at all. Of course, the little dude, I want to say something else, he went all the way to the top, and he held on with one hand.
Oh, wow.
And was waving at me.
Were you scared?
I'm like, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to do what I got to do and try to catch this dude however I can. This is during this competition.
Yeah.
And he goes, hi, Dad. He's like having a great time. Never used any kind of he just muscled the whole thing with his arms. And then he held on with one arm. Was like, ah, and he's waving and all this stuff. I'm freaking the frack out. Of course, I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? He ended up winning. Wow. So they couldn't give him the biggest trophy. So he got the second place trophy. And he didn't really understand what's going on. And I guess the first place person, they got a Snickers bar, and he wanted the Snickers bar.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, yo, man, you don't even understand what happened. And he's like, I want a Snickers. So I got him a Snickers bar later on. But
he's just having fun.
He's having a good time.
Yeah.
So make a long story short, like I talked about in the book, I'm not sure how much more detail you want me to give you. Every sport that kid got in, he dominated, and he was a gifted athlete. And so early on, I realized I got a gifted child here. He may not be a mathematical genius, or he may not be like a great actor or something like that. He is a great athlete.
Yeah,
he can look at something, mimic it like he did with the Spider-Man, and then once he got into the gymnastics, he can look at something and he can physically do it.
That's creative genius too.
I'm like this kid is a genius when it comes to athletics. And then I noticed, he would play sports video games. He would break those games down. The Maddens, he conquered them, and he knew them in and out. What he was doing was he was learning the game that he liked to play.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he would do that with soccer too.
Mm-hmm.
And he would do that with basketball. So he would have all the FIFA games for soccer.
Mm-hmm.
He would have all the NBA games for basketball and all the Madden football games.
Mm-hmm.
And he would play seasons.
Oh, wow.
And he was learning the game.
Yeah.
And so then I would take him to his practices, and he was already doing stuff and giving the coaches suggestions.
Yeah. That's special because, like, to have the attention span early on right there, and then the physical gift too.
There was a picture. I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, that comment brings a picture in my mind. I have the picture. It was actually a video, and you see him at one of his practices. He's probably like 7 years old, and all the other kids on his team that they're not in the game, they're all cutting up, running around, and you see the other coaches trying to corral them and tell them to pay attention. You look over at Jacob. He has his hands on his hip, and he's studying the game. He is not cutting up. He is not wilding out with the other kids. He's watching the play.
Yeah.
He was engaged, even at that young age. But, of course, when the game's over, he's a little kid. He's running around being stupid and goofy and all that. But when the game is on, he was dialed in.
Wow. Yeah, so was he always competitive? Like
always.
That? Yeah.
Always.
Wanted to win.
And if you got beat, he would, like, can we practice, Dad? I'm gonna, can we shoot the ball or whatever? Or he wanted to get better. Yeah. Because you're not gonna beat him next time.
When did you start he won at an early age, like the gymnastic things, but when did you know like he can maybe do this professionally? Like,
oh wow, yeah, we're fast forwarding a whole lot because there's a lot in between there. I mean, he started getting autographs. He started signing autographs in middle school.
Oh, so people in the community knew.
Yeah, we're from Maricopa, and it's a little town, and he was involved in all. I worked Parks and Rec, so I had him involved in every sport imaginable out there. For some reason, didn't take to baseball. He said it was too slow. Anyway, but yeah, he would dominate everything he did, and people got to know, oh crap, here comes Jacob Cowing, and the game's pretty much lost. Or we would have put somebody on him, or we need to put two or three people on that guy. Whether it's basketball, football, soccer.
Yeah.
He is dangerous. He could take it over if we let him. So we gotta have a contingency plan for that kid. And so yeah.
Wow. Are there other athletes in your family?
Yes. But no one has gone as far as he has. There was always a hiccup or some kind of fork in the road. They took the wrong direction with things. My father was the fastest kid in Chicago back in the 60s. I think it's still on record, him being in track and field.
Yeah.
And he's one of the fastest. I have a nephew that he ran for Long Beach Poly, and he's a state champion. Got a ring, actually, for his speed. And my brother's a pretty good basketball player. And then on the other side, his paternal grandfather was a pretty good basketball player, won a scholarship, I think D1. But yeah, it's in the genes. Yeah. I'm a pretty good athlete myself, but it never that level.
Yeah.
And so he and I, me seeing this and recognizing that, I would in his little musculature, I'm like, all right, we're gonna get in the gym at a certain point. I'm gonna show you how to work out, show you how to, build your body up and all that stuff, and how to eat right. But yeah, as far as me realizing that we had something here, I never wanted to jinx it. I always thought of it like, if you talk about it too much,
yeah,
you're gonna jinx it. So he and I had this thing like, let's just kind of downplay it all the time.
Yeah.
And but anyway, in high school, we figured,
in your mind, did you think, I think it's like maybe 0.1%. People actually go to that professional level.
Exactly.
So
yes.
You kind of like, you need to do well at school still.
Exactly.
Have these skills to back up on.
Right.
Yeah.
But in actuality, I'm like, I kept, I kept looking for someone to upstage him. I kept looking for another athlete for him to be like, I better like have a backup plan. But as a, in regards to that, there was only one other kid who ever came somewhat comparable to his athleticism, but then they played a season. Then the next season, Jacob just obliterated this whole idea of this other kid
being close to him,
being anywhere close to him on any level at all. And this is football, so on both sides of the ball, offense and defense.
Yeah.
He just made sure that there is no confusion about who is the alpha top dog out here on this field, court, whatever. It's me. It's Jacob Cowing. So.
Yeah, man, that's phenomenal. Your book, I don't want to give away too much of it because I want people to go buy the book,
right?
Learn about the story, the dynamic of that. I love the context of the superhero part of it too, how you're like witnessing this superhero. Like, it's almost like he landed on the planet, aka he was like born.
Right. And that's kind of how that's why the book looks the way it does. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I felt like I was the Kents, you see the little baby Kal-El, and like, oh, what are you gonna do? And like, you gotta try to keep it subtle, don't brag too much about it. But he was just everything was effortless to him when it came to things like that.
Yeah.
And I remember it came time for he played a lot of youth sports, and I would get phone calls from like coaches, like, hey man, can we have him on our team this year? Can you, when you sign him up, can you ask for me as his coach? It was almost like I hate to use the word, like an auction.
Yeah.
Somebody even once offered to pay my utilities.
Oh wow.
Or utilities. Yo man, you got problems with that light bill, man, because out here in Maricopa that the electricity bill is high. If we can just get Jacob to play for us, I'm like, what? Are you serious? Yeah. So it was really funny. And then in high school ball, I would get for high school football. I remember getting a call. It's in the book. I got a call at the craziest hour, and it was from one of the big time football high schools. Like, hey, we know about your boy, and we'd like him to come, play for us, blah blah blah. And I'm like, how'd you get this number? Who is this? I can't really tell you who, but we would really like him to come to such and such a school to play. I'm like, okay, so just crazy stuff like that.
Yeah. How did you or how did he decide? Either of you decide which sport that you're gonna really key in on?
Right. So I'm only 5'11". I didn't get the height that my father and my brother got, but I pretty much thought that he would get it, but he didn't. And he's actually a little shorter than me.
Okay.
And so we kind of knew basketball was out in the high school level.
Yeah.
Bugsy Mogs and all that. That era's done.
Yeah.
And so that was out. He was a great b-ball player, but and then soccer, he was extraordinary, but he would have to have played abroad.
Yeah.
He knew that.
Yeah.
But him playing soccer, he could have done it.
Yeah.
So the next thing that he took to football like a fish to water. I'll never forget the first time he took a hit, because he started playing at age 7, and he was so little. I can see it in my head. Yeah, all these shoulder pads, this big old helmet. It's kind of like oversized, and I remember him taking a hit. He took a solid hit too, and I'm like, all right, this is it. He's either gonna stay down there and start crying, or he's gonna pop up and be like, next play.
Yeah.
I just knew he was gonna be like, oh, I can't do this. I'm like, all right, come on, man, let's get out of here. Yeah. No, he popped right up. Next play. Yeah. And what that hit did was it scared him. He didn't want to get hit again.
Yeah.
And he did not get hit again. Somebody came after, he was running scared. So whatever gear he had, he hit like turbo boost on that damn thing, and he rarely took a hit.
I call that dog activation, because some people have that competitive dog in them that is they gotta unleash it, and they gotta make sure it's like a relentless spirit that I'm gonna get knocked on my butt, but I'm gonna get up every time. I might get blocked, I might get dunked on, I might not, whatever it is, but I'm gonna keep on going. It's that dog spirit, and it's hard to for kids to kind of get that, especially at a young age, because when they do get popped or something happens and they get put on their butt, they're like, maybe the sport isn't for me.
Right.
And so that dog tucks his tail away sometimes.
Right. No. Yeah. But it was the opposite.
It's all
Because I'm like, this is it. This is gonna tell me if he's gonna ever play this game or not. Because this is the real deal. He played flag football and just destroyed anybody, any competition. But there was no hitting.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's see what you do with the real deal. And sure enough, he took to it, and he was great.
Man, that's amazing. Did you guys do like drills at home or any time? No.
No.
So he just did practice with the teams.
Well, if there was any drills he wanted to do, he would like, can we go out and just throw the ball?
Yeah.
Or can we just, he would be playing Madden. He's like, hey, Dad, look at these plays.
Mm-hmm.
He would come up with plays on Madden. He had a little notebook. He would write the plays down and stuff. And like, I think this would work. X's and O's and all this. I'm like, this little dude's like 9 years old. And I'm like at 9. I'm like jumping off roofs and shit, trying to fly. But he's coming up with these strategies and plays and all this stuff. He had a brilliant mind for sports, and I knew I couldn't just let that go. I knew what I was witnessing and going through with this kid was special. Yeah. There was no way I'm just gonna like kind of dismiss it. Yeah. I knew some athletes in my high school, just great athletes, and their parents just kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. What I saw was what I was looking at with my child was something. It was a gift. Yeah. And I just wasn't gonna let it go and just kind of like let it fade away in my mind, my memory, or other people's memories. I had to write about this thing. Yeah. About what I saw. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
So where can people go buy this book at?
Amazon. The book is called My Boy from Mars.
Okay.
Yep. And you can get it on Amazon.
So everyone make sure you go purchase that book, get you a copy of it. You're writing a second book.
I am, but before I do, I just want to tell you things kind of took a turn for the worse with me and my son, and we are not talking right now. We are estranged, and we have been for a few years as things progressed for him, and as he got older and girls got involved, he and I started butting heads. Mm-hmm. And we've been estranged for a while, and it's truly breaking my heart. I love that kid so much, and my girls too. Yeah. And I write about that in the book. I'm being real about what's going on, what has happened, and I hope I can help parents and especially fathers with this book. Yeah. And so I'm still having faith that he and I can work it out one day. But yes, I wrote another book. Yeah. It's called The Man Challenge.
Yeah. I want to talk about that, but just to comment on what you just said, I think that you being open to share that is great, because I work with a lot of single fathers. And sometimes single fathers, it's harder for them to get the correct narrative to their children, because they'll just automatically side with the mother sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. I was talking to my girlfriend last night, and she broke it down just the way you did right now. Yeah. And I guess I had never seen that. Mm-hmm. And she says, you know what you're doing? And she's like, you are still protecting your ex-wife, their mother, for certain. You don't want to tell them exactly everything that happened. You don't want to share your narrative with them. Yeah. Because kids seem to gravitate towards the mothers always. Yeah. And the fathers get left out, whether they were good or bad fathers. Were bad, of course, but even the good ones are just kind of shunned. And that's what's happening to you. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, you're right. But this sucks, because
it sucks, yeah.
I love my kids too, and I want to be part of their lives. And I got a grandchild I haven't seen in a while, and I got another grandchild on the way. I'm not sure if my daughter has had the baby or not. She doesn't want to talk to me either. I don't know what the hell happened. Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. This is a time for healing. So hopefully, if they come across these episodes and what our conversation, would you like to talk with them here? Would you ever come with them on a podcast? And
absolutely. Yes, I made those people. I'm not afraid of my own children. Jeez.
No, I think it's great. I think that would be like a positive. What's the word? Not conclusion, but like addition to the story of like, all right, we reconciled, and now we want to talk about because. Your kids are gonna have their side of the story, and like even for like the sports stuff, your son's like, he probably like, I used to wake up and dream about writing plays or something. Like he probably has something to talk about with that as well. Yeah. But
I actually pitched a sequel calling it Life on Mars for him.
Oh, okay.
He didn't want to hear it though.
He didn't want to hear it.
He's pissed off at me. So.
Give it some time, and keep trying. So your second book, what's the name of your second book?
The Man Challenge.
The Man Challenge. Oh my. What? Yes. Okay. What is this book about?
Well, in this book, I'm talking about the divorce that me and my wife of 24 years went through. Okay. And we got married very young, and all that happened while we were young and married, and all the mistakes that we both made, and what ultimately broke us up. Yeah. And I'm being real about it, and I'm telling the truth. I even go back and talk about some family history, and all the turmoil with those old relationships with both sides of my grandparents, and then my mother and father, and even my ex-wife's mother and father. Yeah. And, as black folks, we don't talk about certain things. Yeah. And a lot of especially the old generation, they take a lot of that stuff to the grave. Well, I'm not doing that anymore, and I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to help us out. I'm gonna try to help folks kind of free up some things in people. And I think it's good to communicate. Finally, we don't communicate very well at all. I have a term that I've been recently told I had to clean up because I don't want to get canceled. But I call it. I'm pretty sure. Hey, hold on, take it easy. So yeah, I had one term for it, but I'm pretty sure that most people are brilliant in their occupations. But I am of the belief that most, if not everyone, is socially challenged. I had another word for it, but I'm gonna say socially challenged in some way, shape, or form. And we all need to work on our social awkwardness and just how to be around one another. And we struggle with it.
Yeah. So is the social awkwardness, was that part of what I guess your relationship with your ex-wife, is that what like hurt your relationship? Or
absolutely. We didn't communicate enough. There's a lot of gestures and kind of just cues and picking up on things, and then I'm not well, I don't know, you can edit this, but I'm not trying to woman bash, but women seem to think that.
Hold that thought one second. I got someone at my door.
Okay.
Pause real quick.
May I use the restroom?
Yeah. Use the restroom too. Take a quick intermission. Hey, I'm coming. All right, what's up, everybody? We are back. Took a brief siesta. I think that's not a siesta. We had to use the restroom and let my intern. You wrote a book.
Yep.
Called. Wait, don't tell me because I'm gonna think of it right now. I know that book, but we're talking about your second book now, which is Man Challenge. Okay, you mouthed it. The Man Challenge. You mouthed it to me. I'm gonna remember it though.
Yes.
And are you in the process of writing this book, or
it's done?
It's done.
Yeah, I just settled on the cover, and it's all good, and it's done. And then I also have a third. It's children's books. It's about my kids, and it's called Kiki and the Gigglers, and that one's done as well. So I'm working on or looking at the illustration for it.
Yeah.
And the cover right now.
Can you give me a synopsis again of Man Challenge? Just a quick pitch of it.
So it's about being young and married, and all the turmoil you go through rather, and just how we tried to navigate these waters without any kind of help. We both came from broken homes, so we didn't really know how to be married.
Yeah.
We screwed it up, but we wanted something we never had as children, is family unity. We wanted to stay intact, but it didn't work. So I talked about that.
You were married for over 20 years.
24 years.
24 years, man. I feel like that's like so far down the road to be like, this ain't working.
So what happened that was so bad, and it's in the book, that I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And
yeah.
There's no abuse. There was no infidelity. It's just Anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna have to read that book too, because that does sound interesting. It kind of reminds me, there was this couple that got divorced, and they're like, I'm not saying you're old, but like,
I'm old.
They're in their like 60s or 70s. I'm like, who's getting divorced? And they've been together for like 40 or 50 years. I'm like, yo, y'all go work that shit out.
No, you know what? I'm telling you, it really comes down to a respect thing. And when your partner does not respect you, then you can't finish the rest of your days with this person. It really comes, all of it, finances, romance, just how you raise the children. If you don't respect your partner, and in anything and everything they do or try to do, or their input, you don't respect their input or anything, then how do you stay with someone that long? And then when they really go over the top with how disrespectful they are, you should get out. Which is why I called it the Man Challenge. I had some other titles, but this one seems more appropriate. Because even like women, men get caught and they want to stay and they get comfortable, and you have to take a leap of faith on yourself. You have to take a challenge. I am single. I have a girlfriend now, but I didn't for a couple of years, and I was terrified, and I didn't know even how to get back into the dating thing. And I talk about that, and I didn't even know if I wanted to. And I was kind of angry with relationships, angry at women, and anyway, that's what the book's about.
Would you say you're happier at this point, at this juncture?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No regrets.
no regrets about the decision I made for leaving.
You're right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I had to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was just going to be some punk bitch that's just getting handled and just, worked by his wife.
Yeah.
And I was going to be one of them dudes that's like, okay, dear, whatever you say.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon my French. Fuck that. That ain't me. It's never been me.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm no beta.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no simp. So
chose happiness.
Yeah, and I chose to I respect myself. I have too much respect for myself to do that, and I've done too much, and I've worked too hard, and I've been a good father, and to be disrespected the way that I was.
Yeah, I do commend you on, because it probably didn't start like, it's probably took years and years and years, right?
From the beginning,
right? And you still raised your children and your family, so you kept it together. Yeah. For your kids to become adults, and I think that's really important for people that choose a mate to have children with. Like, let's at least get our children past this finish line, high school, whatever you said is that finish line, because separating when the child's very young can be kind of challenging for the child. You probably know that as well. So
very much.
Yeah. So at least having those differences, if you can work on it until you can't work on it, do your best.
Yeah. Or what you thought you've been working all along, and then something's revealed to where all that work was for nothing. And your partner really doesn't feel that way about you at all, and just disregards you.
Yeah.
Then you think to yourself, well, then why would I want to continue my life?
Yeah.
I'm age 50 now. I'm gonna just go into my twilight years with this person, and I'm gonna die with this person, and never have a partner that has shown me respect or truly loves me and wants to be with me.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to have that.
Yeah.
No, man, I can't go out like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's powerful, man. That's a powerful message too for people that need to pivot or make transition in life.
What the man challenge is about,
and pull off that Band-Aid or whatever it is, just kind of take that leap of faith.
The first few sentences in the man challenge is going to shock some people, and I was told even by my editor, "Ooh, dude, I don't know if he even put that in there. It's kind of gross." But it's a true story.
Yeah,
and even it would blow your mind. Kind of blew my mind as a child seeing this.
Yeah.
So, and that's how that's the intro to the man challenge, is this crazy story I witnessed as a child.
Okay. I already know, you told me some crazy things prior to us going on air, so I know the stories. I told you a Tyler Perry story, which is a fictional story, and then you just topped that with a real story. So
right. I couldn't make that shit up. I wouldn't even try, because you're like, this dude bullshit. And that really happened, dude.
Really happened.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, and then you have a third book. What's your third book? You said children's
book. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that about?
It's called Kiki and the Gigglers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about when my kids were in childcare.
Yeah.
And they had to deal with a bully.
Oh, good.
And they were always giggling and having fun. And my oldest and my two little ones. Mm-hmm. And so my oldest her name is Kira. So she's Kiki. Mm-hmm. And then my two little ones, they were only a year apart. They were almost twins, and they were the gigglers. They're always giggling and laughing, and she was always making them laugh. So it's Kiki and the Gigglers, and how they dealt with the bully at childcare.
Oh, okay. Wow.
True story.
True story too.
Yes, I remember them telling me this, and I've turned it into this children's book for them.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then that's a good lesson too.
Yeah.
I feel like my generation, we had bullies, but I don't know bullying is as much of an issue these days.
Yeah, you don't think so? But the cyberbullying and all that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Cyberbullying? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
cyberbullying definitely.
I think there is an issue. That's probably got all these shootings going on, because people are feeling some kind of way, or kids are feeling, and they just can't take it anymore. And
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
And, people are reacting badly to bullies and just feeling a certain way about people, and like I said, the social challenges people have.
Challenge people.
That's why people are freaking out right now, because bullies have always been there.
Yeah.
You know what you got to do with a bully? You got to punch him right in the mouth.
That can't be your advice, man. Is that really your advice for that?
It worked for me, because you know what? I stopped being bullied, and I was respected.
Yeah.
After that, I'm standing up for myself, and you're not gonna take my lunch money. You're not gonna punk me. You're not gonna bully me every day. Mm-hmm. It was terrifying sometimes going to school, and being the child of a cop and a Vietnam vet. Just kick the nigga in his ass or something like that. Don't make me come up there. I'll kick his ass and your ass.
Yeah.
This, that, and it was crazy. So, no, I had to handle my business. And,
yeah. No, I know.
I couldn't negotiate with the dude. So,
yeah.
You hate for there to be violence, especially when you get older. Your mind starts to change. You start to kind of settle down when it comes to all that stuff. But the cops carry guns for reasons.
Yeah.
Because you can't negotiate all the time with people.
Facts.
Anyway, there you go.
Well, that's what I mean by bully is changing. I haven't heard too many situations of like bullying at that level. Like I had to deal with bullying like that as well. It was like someone steals your bike, you have to go get your shit back.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no one else you can really call or depend on. And if you do call them, they're going to handle it their way. So that may not even be a good thing for you to get them involved.
Yeah, right. You got to think that through, right?
You got to think it through. You might get beat up by him and them now. Like,
right, because they don't stop just there, right? It's a Debo situation. You got to deal with this fool later. Shit. You better think that through. Just like the second Friday, they had to deal with Debo again. It just didn't stop. So anyway.
Yeah. But no, I think it's good to have that communication because the bully behavior is still present.
It's part of human nature, I believe.
Yeah, actually, I'll give that too. The thing about it, because I don't know, how do you think people become bullies? Do you think that starts in the home or is a psychological defect?
Yeah, I think it starts in the home. It also starts just when a person knows they can take something from another. And then they don't get reprimanded or they don't get corrected for that. Yeah, it starts a pattern in their mind. Yeah, especially when a kid kind of notices I'm bigger than you. Yeah, and you have something I want, or I want to be on the slide, or I want to be on that swing, and I can push you off, and no one's gonna do anything about it because that's where the bullying starts, or that's this mentality of I can have what I want, and just no one can stop me.
Yeah, because even with like we talked about superheroes earlier. Some of the best superheroes are not, some of the most villains are the ones that are trying to figure out how to get their needs met. But the way they're going about doing it is at the expense of other people. So you have a person like Zod that needs a planet for his people to live, right? But the way you're going about it, bro, is you're going to take out everyone else.
Right, yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes the bullies show up with a cause. You know, it could be Maslow hierarchy of needs where they're maybe not getting a need met. And you're just a victim in that situation. But at the same time, you can't necessarily give someone that type of empathy if they aren't doing the work to fix themselves. If they're just showing up to pretty much fuck shit up until they get what they want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And not every bully issue I had, I was able to resolve. And sometimes the bully was just too overwhelming for me, not just me, for most of us, that we just got to stay out of that guy's way.
Yeah,
because he's too much. Yeah, and I remember we had a Debo situation in my neighborhood. We had a Debo situation on our football team. Hyper aggressive guy, and you just didn't want to mess with that guy because he was just too much. Yeah, and so if you couldn't stand up to that kind of guy.
How'd that guy end up later in life though?
I don't know what happened to him. I know that I was really good friends with. And he was really good friends with the bully. They were both great, phenomenal football players on our team. Yeah. My friend ended up going and playing for Michigan. The bully got kicked off the team for being too much of a bully, didn't go to school, didn't do his work. He thought he was just too great that he could have everything he wanted, and he would go NFL, blah, blah, blah. But his behavior got him the boot. I don't know what happened. Not that why would I want to follow what's going on with that asshole? I don't know what the hell happened to him. Good riddance in my opinion. Yeah. But I did notice that my friend started to become like that, and so he and I started distancing myself from him. Yeah.
His behavior started changing.
Bad apples.
Hanging around with the bully and whatnot. That's profound, man. Do you have any other type of books you're thinking about writing in the future?
I'm writing a book about how my dating life went after I was divorced. Off screen or whatever the heck, or we were talking about me having a dating site. I was on a dating site, and actually it's a popular one for African Americans. I'll just put it at that. I don't want to give them a plug, but anyway, I went on several dates. And there's some crazy stories, man. Anyway, but I've probably got about 3 good chapters so far, and the title of that book is "It All Led to My Tax Lady."
What?
Yeah, it all led to my tax lady. It all led to my tax lady. My girlfriend is my tax. She was also my tax lady.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, man. So you were out of the dating game essentially for like a couple of decades. You jump back in the dating game. No?
No. I got divorced, but it's going on 3 years.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. You got divorced 3 years ago.
Yeah. So you mean the whole prior to that? Right. I was married. Right. Yeah.
So like, women's mentality has changed quite a bit as far as being courted.
Yes and no.
Expectations.
Yes and no. We were talking about that before we took the break, and like I was about to say, women seem to think men should just know what they're thinking and just do it.
Yeah.
And so I can remember being a teenager, and my girlfriend's having that mentality. So, the women I was dating, it was around my age. There was some pretty young, but they all seem to still have this idea that just do what I want without me having to tell you, and just give me what I want without me having to explain it. And I'm the focal point of this relationship.
Yeah.
Make me happy.
Yeah.
And by you making me happy, you'll be happy. Your happiness is me being happy.
Bro, you are firing off some connections between how the children respond to the mothers and how they respond to the fathers and expectations, because
but how did it get flipped like that?
Deeply rooted.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Where did women start thinking that it's all about me in this family relationship? Me.
Happy wife, happy life.
Fuck that.
That term.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
I hate to say it, like I said earlier, I don't want to sound like I'm women bashing, but women's emotions are so fickle. You cannot.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it somehow, so that you cannot navigate it.
I think it's one of those like things that became extreme we were talking about. So like we absolutely as a society needed like women empowerment.
Why?
Because there is a type of patriarchy in place that subjugated women, that didn't give them the same rights as men.
Okay, yeah, I've heard this.
Historically.
Okay, but
hold on. We can look at ledgers and be like, hey, could women vote during this time?
Oh, no, yeah. I'm not sure how much time we got, because this is what I really want to talk about, okay? I got these books and all that, but there's something wrong here, okay, that is really bothering me with this whole idea of this patriarchy, oppressive society by men. Were you raised like that?
No, I wasn't, but for one thing, I don't subscribe to that.
Okay.
So let's set the tone with that. However, I do think some things are birthed out of necessity.
Okay.
So almost like saying, I do think our society is as least racist as it's ever been.
I do. I don't know what's going on right now, but yeah, but you're right.
Historically, we had to deal with racial issues, and there had to be different institutions and people that pushed the line forward, that helped us across. So same thing with women. There had to be women and institutions that kind of pushed them into, but out of that there is extremism sometimes. There's extremism, which you have this idea of like modern feminism and the patriarchy, and I don't need a man, and like men are shit, and it just keeps growing and going. And it's like, if y'all would have just stopped at women empowerment and helping each other,
we'd all be better for it. But they keep going with this idea that niggas ain't no good, men are no good, and that and somehow or another I heard somebody saying something I was looking at on my phone, that women seem to think that men are always trying to take advantage of them.
Yeah,
no, we're not. We just want to have a relationship with you. I'm not trying to take advantage of you. Yeah. Are you trying to take advantage of me? And so they're coming out of this idea that I gotta be ready. I gotta look at every angle that you're trying to take on me, and I gotta like be prepared for what you're about to do to me. I'm not doing anything to you. Where's this coming from? Or the whole bear man.
Oh my
God, dude, what the hell? And then just I was talking to my girlfriend, and she's like, you got to be really careful.
She picks the bear.
Of course I picked the bear. I'm like, why would you pick the bear? I'm like, this is so stupid. I cannot understand. And then she was saying, you also have to, I had to realize that you couldn't turn a man down a certain way because he might come back and stalk and kill you. I'm like, okay, what Dateline were you watching? And that you think now that every man that you could be possibly rude to is going to come back and kill you. I said, how many times have you been propositioned? You know, she's in her 40s, and she's like, you know, several times in my life I've been propositioned. And, you know, and I was not always the kindest about it. I'm like, so any of those guys come back and try to get you? And no. I'm like, well, where's this idea coming from that now if you reject a man, he's going to come back and kill you? Yeah. Where did you get this from? And that why are men always the enemy?
Well, here's the deal. Men are not only a problem for some women, but they're also a problem for some men. We just talked about bullying right now.
Okay. Like, no, there was girl bullies.
Yeah, well, there's girl bullying, but I'm saying like those aggressive
I grew up in Long Beach now.
Yeah, there's some thugs.
Yeah, there's some, you know, Big Shirley and all that. Shit. What was that? What was that? What with Friday? And with you know, and he was getting chased around by. I grew up with chicks like that for real. Yeah. Anyway, you were saying, I'm sorry.
But I'm saying men are not only threatening to other women, men are threatening to other men.
Right. Sure.
So we're dealing with the same issue. We're dealing with the issue of these aggressive people. And, you know, the dude that will stalk you, he also has other issues with other men. It's not just like an isolated thing. Like, I would like to look at the issue more holistically. Like, how can we address this group of people that are socially inept or socially challenged? You know what I mean? And treating women this way and treating men this way, because that's the issue. And it's not just, let's just say people. It's not just men. Let's just address these people that do these things. I do, because my wife is on the same wave. She's like, I picked the bear. I'm like, you're fucking why?
Why? The bear will kill. No,
the bear is absolutely going to eat your ass.
You are dead, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you brought a shotgun with you.
Yeah,
and it better be a high caliber, and that, you know, you better hope to God it doesn't jam. You're a dead man or you're a dead woman. There's no debating that. Yeah. Most of the time, 99.9%, you come across a dude in the forest.
He's just a creepy dude.
No, why? He's just out there doing whatever. You're out there. Are you a creepy chick for just being out there on your own? What are you doing out there?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's we're in a cultural point right now where things can go left or right, and hopefully they go in a good direction.
I hope so.
Hopefully your books that you're writing influence people to critically think about their social challenges and social interactions.
Yeah, that's one of the goals of my books. Yeah. And I got probably about 7 more that I'm, you know, writing on here and there, and like I told you, the job I have is that is a madhouse, and I have got to write about that, and I got so many other ideas that I'm putting down, and since I've written the one, it seems like I've been bitten by this writing bug, and I cannot seem to stop. I wasn't a writer prior to this first one, but now it's like I've opened the floodgates, and I get inspired even at the night. In the night, I'll wake up inspired by something, and I just start writing in my journal.
When did you start writing?
I started writing probably about 4 years ago. I started taking some notes about my son.
Yeah,
because I was always going to write a book about what I'm being privy to witness. I thought it was a gift. Like I said, the book, it was a gift to witness, and I thought I was obligated to, you know, write it down. And so I was taking notes even in when he was in high school. There's a situation that happened. I don't even want to give it away. It's so dynamic.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe, and I knew the crowd couldn't believe what they were seeing.
Yeah.
And I was a sports coordinator for the city of Maricopa for a while, and I've seen a lot of kids play. And there was one thing my child did one time in a basketball game. I've never seen anyone ever do this before or after.
Wow.
Blew my mind. So I had to write the book, if not for anything else he's done, but for that one thing he did. Anyway, it was astonishing.
Okay. I'm excited. I still haven't read it yet. I did order it, and I still got to put some time aside to read your book. So
right on. I'm really considering doing audio, because who wants to read these days, right?
I do love audiobooks. So that'll be an easier situation for me to listen to it.
Yeah, I need to do that. I really need to do that. Do you do that too? Or?
Yeah, we do that here.
Yeah, I need to do that. I'm not sure if my voice is the right one, but
yeah, use your voice, man, because you have inflection, and you know, you can express things, and I think that'll be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really consider it.
So at this point, man, normally I get like social medias from people I'm talking to, but I think we have to set up your social media still.
Yeah, I don't really.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell.
So everyone that's watching this, we're gonna be having more conversations. This isn't the last time you're gonna see Monte. He's gonna come back. We're gonna do updates. You're gonna talk about more things, get his thoughts and views on things, and then you're gonna subscribe to his socials. And they're also gonna be in the comments in the description there for you to click on as well.
Also, may I add one thing?
Yeah.
That I didn't mention, that my kid is now a San Francisco 49er.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to announce that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is a San Francisco. I'm so proud of that kid, and I fly the colors.
Nice.
And so it didn't stop in high school, or he was phenomenal in college. Mm-hmm. I feel so bad that I missed so much because I was uninvited.
Yeah.
To things, and I missed a lot. I had to look from afar. Yeah. But I wasn't invited to the draft or anything. So, but I'm still extremely proud of him, and I love him very much, and my girls too. But yeah, he is now a San Francisco 49ers.
Jacob Cowing?
That's right, Jacob Cowing.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Shoot, I'm gonna root for him this season. What position is he playing?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Okay. Yeah. Wow, and he's 5'11", 5'10",
5'8".
He's 5'8".
That just goes to show you that little nigga ain't no joke, boy.
5'8".
He is phenomenal.
That's like a Tyreek Hill because he's kind of small.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to compare him.
No. Yeah, but he was every team he's been on, he's been MVP.
Oh wow! So
and he's won all the awards.
It's on. It's on now.
It is. I know I said probably I don't want to jinx anything, but come on, at this level I can start saying some things. The boy is something. I mean, you get the ball in his hands. And many times announcers even said, just watching Jacob Cowing is worth the price of admission.
Oh wow,
he's gonna give you a show.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be watching this season, and then also looking out for your new books coming out, and we're gonna continue to chop it up and catch up here, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Right on. Thank you.
Ain't that bad.
Oh, yeah, unplug this and